Hello, everyone, and this is Gary Maloney for Sacktown Slam, and this is a special edition coming to you on Saturday, the day before TLC, and a lot has changed about this card in the last 24 hours. Your reason? Meningitis. A big part of this is that this has been running rampant through the locker room and took out both Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. Unfortunately, they are not going to be at the pay-per-view, which really kills two of their bigger storylines for this pay-per-view. So we are not going to get the Demon versus Sister Abigail, and we are not going to see a Shield reunion at this pay-per-view. More than likely, they are going to bump the Shield reunion to Survivor Series. My hope is that after this, we can fucking clean our hands of Bray Wyatt and fucking, Finn Balor, because let's face it, that is the most boring feud I have ever seen. However, the alternatives now are looking very interesting. I want to take you first to the 3-on-5. They knew that they were never going to be able to replace a Roman Reigns because John Cena is gone filming a movie, and who are they going to replace him with? Well, apparently, according to eWrestling News, they themselves, and I want to see who they got this information from, which was an eWrestling News exclusive, and apparently, as of yesterday, it was being reported that both Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan could be replacements. Now, it appears that as of this time, which is Saturday at about 4 p.m., that their decision was to go with Kurt Angle. Now, Kurt Angle has a long-standing history with broken neck issues, as well as drug rehab issues. So I find it very interesting that they chose him over a guy like Daniel Bryan. I think that this is a huge fucking show of disrespect to Daniel Bryan, but the fact that they even considered him is also interesting because next September, he's gone unless he gets to wrestle. I mean, that has been made effectively clear by Daniel Bryan with all his tweets about Ring of Honor. So, unless you start letting this guy wrestle and get titles, etc., he's leaving your fucking company. But they did mention Daniel Bryan as a possible replacement, and there has been some rumor mill talk over Twitter that, hey, if they're going to let Angle wrestle, why not give Daniel Bryan a chance to take a couple bumps, learn his way back around the ring, and do a GM versus GM match at WrestleMania, or even a GM versus a GM match at Survivor Series. Because the fact of the matter is, if you were going to use Daniel Bryan on a Raw branded pay-per-view, that wouldn't have made much sense. Survivor Series, however, is about something WWE does not make much light of these days, the brand split, and about brand supremacy, which is why Jinder Mahal challenged Brock Lesnar. Good luck. But I'll be honest with you, the idea of Daniel Bryan wrestling again is a big deal to me. I love Daniel Bryan. I loved him when he first showed up in 2010. I loved him when he showed back up in 2012. This is a guy that needs to be wrestling, even if it is on a limited basis. Do it. Just pull the trigger. I think at Survivor Series, you pull the trigger on that one. If you are holding Daniel Bryan down for the sake of just holding him down because you want to push the Roman Reigns initiative of your corporate bullshit, then he is going to leave. If you let him wrestle again, because you know he wants to wrestle, he has made it perfectly clear through his Twitters, through everything on Talking Smack that he has stated, through everything that he wants to wrestle. Let the man wrestle. For the love of God, people. I mean, you have a doctor who is under investigation by the NFL for concussions and is being actively sued in a class action lawsuit by former NFL players. I mean, really? This is the guy you're gonna let you tell you what to do with your superstars? Really? And you wonder why Baron Corbin got pissed. So, no. Absolutely not. You know, that needs to happen. I think Angle and Daniel Bryan against each other at either Survivor Series or Mania would make for an excellent fucking match. These are two guys that know how to take bumps. They know how to go full throttle. They know how to entertain the crowd. The crowd is totally into both of them. It doesn't have to be heel versus face or anything. This should be about brand supremacy if they fight each other. And if they even let Daniel Bryan step into the ring, which, if situations like this are getting you to scratch your head and think, well, maybe we should put in Daniel Bryan, then you are holding him down. So, unless you want to lose a Daniel Bryan to another indie company, which you already lost to Neville, I mean, you've already lost I could sit here all day, which originally that's what this show was going to be, was talking about people that walked out on WWE because they're creative as shit. You already lost Neville. You already lost Barrett. You already lost Ryback. You already lost... Excuse me. I mean, you already lost Rock. He's found way more success in Hollywood. You already lost Batista because he's found way more success in Hollywood. I mean, what is it going to take to get this company to realize that, oh my gosh, we have talent and we should be using our talent better? You know, give me a fucking break. You know, and I hope that scares like this get you to understand why you need to foster all your talent. Not just focus on one. Because guess what? The guy got sick. Which means the guy and his yard ain't his yard for his pay-per-view. And this whole Shield reunion, if you can even call it that, isn't even happening. So, yeah, I guarantee that they were scrambling, wondering, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? The guy is not going to be on the show. Well, of course he's not going to be on the show because he has meningitis. So if you need to pull, I understand why they went to Angle first, because storyline-wise, that makes more sense. But the other side of this does not make a lot of sense. Now, Bray Wyatt also has meningitis, which is why Bo Dallas has been off TV for the last 2 or 3 weeks. He got meningitis. Apparently JoJo has meningitis, though it is being denied that she does, but why the hell else would she be off TV if that is not the case? So more than likely she is being protected because she is with Bray Wyatt, whom Bray's ex-wife, I doubt that's all done with. Trust me, I'm sure there's a lot behind the scenes going on with that. But instead of Bray Wyatt now, they're pulling little cookies out of the cookie jar here, and they're going to have AJ Styles wrestle Finn Balor. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Is this a match I want to see? Hell yeah, I want to see this match. Do I think, was this very last minute? Hell yeah, it was last minute. Does that mean I want to see this match any less? No. I think the way TLC did what they need to do going forward, explain. Give us an explanation as to why the guy isn't there and to why Sister Abigail ain't there. And I don't want some half-assed explanation like, unfortunately, Roman couldn't make it tonight, or I was promised an opponent tonight, so who's my opponent gonna be if Sister Abigail is too much of a coward? No. Don't play me like that. We all know, all of us in the YWC know what is going on. So, in honesty, I just don't want to see stupidity. Don't treat me like I'm stupid. This is a company that treats people like they're 8-year-olds. And we're not all 8-year-olds. We do not see everything, and we see things in a lot more of its true light. So treat your fans like they're not stupid. That's all I'm asking with this. This card could probably, went from probably one of the worst cards all year to one of the more interesting. We'll see how this plays out. But you were having Asuka make her in-ring debut, which I'm sure won't be any more than about 5 or 6 minutes because she just destroys people. We have Kurt Angle making his return, which in and of itself, even if it's in a 5-on-3 and not a 1-on-1 scenario, that's a big deal. I have a feeling they gave him this as sort of a tester, because he won't have to take a bunch of bumps. But since this match is TLC, how exactly is this going to work? There are no belts on the line, so there's nothing to grab at the top, but with it being no DQ, you can't force them to tag in and out. That to me would be beneath my intelligence level, because I know no DQ matches mean just that, no DQ, which means there is no tagging in and out, which means this whole thing just seems very, very, very... I'm hoping that's not the case, because I don't want to see this micromanaged because they're afraid of Kurt Angle being injured. If they change it from a TLC match to something else, I'm going to be upset, because then there won't be any TLC matches in a pay-per-view that's literally called TLC. Now, TLC, for those of you that are complete derps, means tables, ladders, and chairs. So, but the fact of the matter is that the other thing is, I want an explanation as to why AJ Styles is there. Why not just say, Bray Wyatt, he's sick, he has meningitis, he couldn't be here tonight. And so, and then after you say, well, Bray Wyatt couldn't be here tonight to face you, but someone from SmackDown wanted a shot at you because they think that their brand is better than yours. Just that's all you have to say. That's it. I mean, if they at least throw us a bone and they start at TLC with the whole brand warfare thing, that is going to make Survivor Series look a lot more appealing. It really is. Now, and I do not know how else or what other way to put this. I mean, don't bullshit me and think that, or force me to think AJ Styles is just showing up just to see the show. I'm not stupid. I know you have creative writers, and if they can't get off their ass and at least tell the truth sometimes, then their creative is just going to look like another group of people that would rather stand in a tree and lie than stand on the ground and tell the truth. So, obviously, a great many deal of superstars, from what I've been reading, have been dealing with this. It's been going around the locker room, and they want everyone healthy for the European tour. So they are telling everybody to just stay home, relax. If you got it, get over it. Come back to the Performance Center, and we'll test you there. I mean, this is, a very, very, very big thing. I don't know if any other superstars have been affected by this, but this pay-per-view went from being maybe a 2 for me to possibly a 5, just based on the returns and the matches, which, from what I've been hearing, AJ Styles and Finn Balor, that is going to do wonders for Balor's career and just boost AJ Styles' career to boot. Because, no matter who walks out, the winner in that situation, they're both going to be winners. And considering who he's facing now, I almost have to say that Finn Balor is probably going to be on the losing end. Because I don't see AJ Styles losing to Finn Balor. I don't. Now, in the scheme of things, does that match mean much to either one of them in terms of title ranking? Probably not. I don't think this is going to change anything come Royal Rumble when he gets a shot at Brock Lesnar. I don't think this is going to change anything short term at all, really, for those two, unless they really rock the house. But again, they need to push the envelope with the brand warfare because we do not see enough of it. This needs to happen. Otherwise, shows like Survivor Series that are having X guy versus Y guy, and your NFC versus your AFC, or your AL versus NL, or your East Conference versus West Conference, it's not going to mean anything. WWE booked this brand split to mean something. And what is becoming of it is what happened during the last brand split, which leads me to my next point. Why have it? You are wasting prime talent who are walking away from you because you seem to think that you only have 3 hours on a Monday to do all this stuff. Yet you're cramming in an hour and a half of friggin' commercials and promos. And really, that's what's killing Monday Night Raw. It is. It's why Neville left, because the cruiserweights get maybe an hour and a half a week. And I dare say less than that. I would say an hour and 15 minutes. They get maybe 15 minutes on Raw, and then their 205 live hour. In terms of the main event, I think that the main event, how does this change the main event? Well, this is going to be a little weird. And it's weird to me because, A, this is not a Shield reunion. That is going to have to wait, as I've said numerous times, until Survivor Series, at least. My hope is that after Survivor Series is over with, we can really go full bore with this Shield thing. But this could also add an extra element of interesting to the whole Shield thing. Because Kurt Angle has to step up now for Roman Reigns. And to not acknowledge that this Monday or even next Monday, depending on when he comes back, that would be folly on WWE's part. You should have Roman just go up to Kurt Angle and at least tell him thank you for filling in for me at TLC. And thank you for helping my brothers in the Shield, defeat X, Y, and Z person. Because anyone that thinks that match is going the other way is insane. Though it would not surprise me if they tried to pull that, because this is not a reunion of the Shield. This is Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Kurt Angle now. So I honestly, I'm curious now to see how they're going to pull this all together. I'm curious to see how they're going to try and play that match now, because they've only had a few days to, get ready for it. This is complete last-minute booking that they had to do. Not shitty last-minute booking like they usually do. Now they're under the gun because they don't have the guy, leading the charge. So your biggest draw on Raw, which is Brock Lesnar, is not going to be there. Your second, quote-unquote, biggest draw, the guy, isn't going to be there. I'm sure that's why they pulled in AJ Styles. My guess is that that's probably going to be the match for the night, because AJ Styles versus Finn Balor is a dream match. For those that don't know, both these guys fought their way through different back alleys, and found each other in Japan and wrestled with each other in Japan. Then, about a year before Styles left Japan, Balor came to NXT, and then about a year later, AJ Styles went straight to the main roster. So, what we have right now is a golden opportunity for WWE to really give us a match that we want, and hopefully to not fuck it up. So, all I can say is that this is a big deal. With meningitis running through their locker room, they can't exactly, afford to pick and choose here. They do have to, pull from their entire talent pool. But they need to make it make sense. And that is really the biggest thing. Make it make sense. The other thing, this is probably the best thing that could have happened to Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt was officially about to be B-U-R-I-E-D, buried. I mean, this guy, you may as well have called out The Undertaker with a dump truck full of dirt on this fool, because his career was buried. And if I had to see him walk out in drag, his career was going to be buried. So, yeah, this is going to be a big deal. I don't doubt that they're going to, at some point, come back to Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. They'll probably have a match on Raw to just settle it and end it, hopefully, because I don't want to see this shit at Survivor Series. We're done, It's over. Let it die. Like, literally, I don't want to see any more of this crap. There was never a reason for it to begin with. But whatever, It would seem to me that fate has played its hand and said, no, Bray Wyatt, you're doing a shitty job, get off this pay-per-view, and saying, Roman Reigns, you're full of shit. This isn't about the Shield. This is about the fans trying to get back behind you before we break apart the Shield and send you on your merry way to a Universal title christening at WrestleMania, which the last 4 WrestleManias have been nothing but christenings for fucking Roman Reigns. So, yay. We have a pay-per-view that doesn't have Roman Reigns on it in 2017. Probably the best thing that's happened to us pay-per-view-wise in 2017, minus NXT. So, yeah, this has been a huge development in the last 24, 36 hours. So, I'm really interested in seeing how they're going to play this. The other thing I wanted to talk about today was Nia Jax. I was going to do a whole video on people that have walked out or mad or whatever about WWE and ended up leaving. But I guess Nia Jax, she just needed a reset. And apparently, as the New York Post, I believe, got an official comment from Alexa Bliss, who in real life is her friend, so she says anyway, but I believe it with the way they've kind of worked their characters around each other. And it has nothing to do with her trying to take the Neville route out. It has nothing to do with her just being upset about money or being super upset about this or that. I mean, a lot of people, when she quote unquote walked out that the last Monday, a lot of people were thinking there's going to be some mass exodus of talent from WWE. You better get out your broom because it's going to be time for another cleaning. I'm not sure that's so much the truth with Nia Jax. I think Nia Jax was injured. She's probably sick. And a lot of people, when they get sick and injured and they can't handle the traveling, they need like a week or two off to just reset and get healthy and, not be spreading shit like meningitis around the locker room. Not that it was her that did it, but, just a perfect example. I mean, when you are sick, you are sick. I understand working through being sick. Shit, you're talking to a guy that works through being sick. I am a college student. So yeah, I know a lot about that. But there comes a point where you just have to say enough is enough. Take cough syrup, get in bed and watch a movie. It is not, it is inevitable that these things happened. I don't think Nia Jax is leaving the company. I know that Nia Jax is upset that she hasn't gotten a title shot. I know that she's slightly upset with creative. But beyond that, I don't think this goes any further than that. In terms of that, I think this is really all about just trying to get better and come back in prime shape for after, Mickie James is defeated and after, Asuka is the champion. Because I don't know about you out there, but I get the feeling Alexa Bliss is going to lose that title to Nia Jax, and then it's going to be Nia Jax that Asuka has to blow through to get that women's title. That is something I am predicting to you right now, because if any of you saw that match the two had, I believe it was Brooklyn 2 that they had that match, might have been NXT Dallas. I am telling you right now, those matches, that match is a fucking classic. For women's wrestling, that is a match that sets the bar very high. Especially for the newer women wrestlers. I just hope that Nia Jax gets better soon. She is one of their freakier women-looking wrestlers because she is undoubtedly larger than the other women. I mean, she does come from Samoan heritage. So, yeah, she's bigger and more powerful, and she doesn't look like one of those skinny little toothpicks. Granted, those skinny little toothpicks definitely have wrestling ability now. It's not all hair slapping, and it's not all slapping and hair pulling and nail scratching and whatnot. But I really feel that it is a detriment to the women's division not having Nia Jax there. So WWE, don't pull any shitties on Nia Jax, because she'll probably freaking sit on you. Other than that, there really is not much else to report. So it kind of, but it behooved me to come on here and make this report about TLC, because boy, if you are in town for TLC, by golly, you about to get a show. And one that none of us expected. I hope Kurt Angle does well. I hope that they acknowledge that Bray Wyatt is sick, and they don't try to feed us bullshit, because we all knew what the card was going into this weekend, but now the card has been exponentially changed to the point where there isn't a Shield reunion. And instead of Bray Wyatt, boy, to swap Bray Wyatt for AJ Styles is a huge change. That takes that from a B-level match to definitely an A-level match in my book. So this could be one of the best pay-per-views that just goes under the radar, that just goes above everybody's heads and off the radar because no one expected anything from it. So if you like good wrestling, this may be a good pay-per-view to watch, because you're not going to get a lot of shenanigans, I think, in this pay-per-view. Now, does Finn Balor show up as the Demon? I don't know. That's a question that a lot of people have been asking. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Maybe that would be his way of intimidating AJ Styles. As far as Kurt Angle, they're going to have to explain in some manner or another, why he's not there. If they just sweep it under the rug, then I'm not going to be very happy about it. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. Anyway, this has been Sacktown Slam, and I am Gary Maloney. Hopefully tomorrow I will be here for afterthoughts on the pay-per-view. If I am not here tomorrow, I will be doing a show as soon as I get up Monday morning on TLC. It may be one of those times where I need to just let it sit because there's a lot going on, and that could still change about this pay-per-view, given X, Y, and Z person could end up sick. So, we had a mass exodus of people wanting to leave, and now we have a mass exodus of meningitis. Ugh. Would not want to be a WWE worker right now, because either they're all pissed or they're sick. Anyway, I'm Gary Maloney for Sacktown Slam, and I am signing up.